There's six major benefits to setting goals. And we'll talk about each one of these really quick. Number one is when you set goals correctly for 2026, goals give you clarity. I love the analogy of the GPS, right? If you I went to a soccer field. I had a soccer game earlier today. I had no idea where that soccer field was. For me to get from my house to the soccer field, I needed to know where I was, my current location, right? And I needed to know my end destination, where it was that I was going. And the moment that you set that goal, the moment that you set that destination, right, in the GPS, then you now have a straight line to get from where you are to where it is that you want to go. Same thing with your goals. The moment that you have clear goals, that gives you clarity on what you're going to be doing every single day, how you're going to be spending your time, the actions that you need to take, the habits that you need to have. Goal setting creates clarity for you and for your life. Let me ask you guys a question. How many, be honest, it's okay. This is also me as well. How many of y'all have ever felt a little bit confused on, what to be doing on a day-to-day basis in order to, get from where you are to where it is that you want to go? Drop a yes in the chat. If you've ever felt a little bit confused, you're like, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And in entrepreneurship, your goals is what gives you that clarity. And your mentor is the person that also helps you give you that clarity as well, telling you exactly what to do, just like a GPS telling you how to get, the shortest route from where you are to where it is that you want to go. The second benefit to setting goals is the moment that you set goals correctly, it helps you be very, very decisive. For me personally, I know where I want to be in 2026. And because of that, I could say yes to everything that's in alignment to my goal, and I could say no to everything else. A lot of people on this call have a problem with saying no to the things that aren't alignment, that are not in alignment with what it is that they want, because they don't know what they really want. But when you know what you really want, when you have a burning desire to be successful, when you know that you want to make a certain amount of money so that you can help your family, so that you could do this, do that, you become very, very decisive. You say yes to everything that's in alignment with what you want, and you say no to everything else. It helps you make decisions. I'm that person that when I go to a restaurant, I'm super boring, so I eat the same thing every time. So I know exactly what I want, so I could just order. And I'm always around everybody who's like trying to figure out everything that they want to order, which is fine. Not a problem at a restaurant, but it is a problem when it comes to your goals. It is a problem when you don't know what you want, you can't really be decisive. And that's why Jim Rohn, who's one of the greatest of all time in the personal development space, he always talks about procrastination and indecision and how that holds more people back more than anything else. So get clear on what you really want. Number three is time management. I think we've all struggled with time management at some point because most people here are working a 9 to 5, which is fine. But the question is what are you doing from 5 to 9? What are you doing before work and after work that's going to help you reach your goals? Because Steph said it, 2025 went by like that. 2026 is going to go by like that. So if you're not managing your time correctly, I remember having a mentor who said, show me your calendar and I could show you your income. And I think that's so true. Show me your calendar. Show me when are you posting, when are you hopping on the live trading sessions? When are you hopping on the scanners? When it comes to the business, when are you working on the TikTok stuff? When are you actually, hopping on these trainings? If you don't have a schedule, how can you ever, you're just going to show up when you feel like it. And how often are you going to feel like it? Let's be real here. Maybe we could talk about other things like the gym. How often are you going to feel like going to the gym? You're probably not going to feel like it most of the time, but you're going to go anyways. Why? Because you have a clear goal and you know what it is that you want. Goal setting is going to help you manage your time effectively. That's one thing, guys, is I do this full time. I don't do anything else besides this, guys. And even for me, I feel like I don't have time. I'm like, dude, I have no time. So I could only imagine, thinking back to when I had a 9 to 5, how much more you have to be decisive with your time and knowing exactly where, hey, this is when I'm going to hop on the live sessions. This is when I'm going to work on the business. This is when I'm going to go to work. This is when I'm going to do this. This is when there has to be, for me, there had to be a season of sacrifice. You have to give up in order to go up. I had to give up. There was a time period, guys, when I was going from zero to a full-time income online where I gave up everything. Maybe you just want to make an extra couple $100, that's fine. But I wanted to make 6 figures. Now I want to get to 7. I knew that it was gonna, if it was that easy, then everybody would do it. I had to make sacrifices. I had to give up everything. I didn't have an Xbox for 5 years. Because I was playing video games all the time. I stopped going out all the time. I stopped doing anything and everything that wasn't in alignment with what I wanted because I had a clear goal. Number 4, goal setting is going to give you persistence because we all know that challenges are going to come. Negative people are going to come, right? They're going to tell you that this isn't going to work. They're going to tell you that you're crazy, right? You're going to blow an account. You're going to do something that you shouldn't do. You're going to go through, whatever it is that you're going to go through. But when you know exactly what you want and you have a clear vision for the future and nobody can stop you from accomplishing it, you're going to push through no matter what. I love the word until, right? How long are you going to keep trading for? How long are you going to keep doing that little business for? Until I get the results, until I hit a full-time income, until I get to where it is that I want to go. That was my answer. Anytime somebody asks me, yo, like, how long are you going to blah, 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 until. And then once you hit a certain level, guess what? They're not going to be negative anymore. Maybe you have a family member that's super, super negative. Maybe you have a best friend that's super, super negative about what it is that you do because they just don't understand entrepreneurship, investing, trading, this business, which is fine. How can you expect somebody to understand your vision? God gave the vision to you, they didn't give it to them. We're observing the masses, we're doing the opposite. We're doing something completely different than the traditional path. Of course, people are going to be negative. That's completely normal. But when you have a burning desire and you know exactly what it is that you want, you could be persistent and nothing is going to slow you down. Doesn't matter how much negativity you go through, how many times you fail. In fact, you don't even see it as winning or losing. You see it as winning and learning. For me personally, I'm either winning or learning. That's it. If I'm having success, amazing. If I'm doing something that's not working, great. Now I know what not to do. That's how people that every single person that I know that has made not 6 figures, they've made 7. That's the mindset that they have. I'm either winning or I'm learning. There is no such thing as losing in their mind. Persistence, number 4. Number 5, when you set a new goal for the new year, you're able to reflect and grow and adapt. I had to look back at 2025 and really ask myself what worked, what didn't work, and how I'm going to grow and change. Because the definition of insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. How many of us have done the same thing over and over, but we want something different? Nothing's going to change if we don't change. So when you set a new goal, it allows you to reflect. And here's the thing. If you just stopped doing the things that you knew you weren't supposed to do and started doing the things that you were supposed to do and did more of those things, your income would double or triple in the next 90 days. Maybe you don't believe that, but that's the truth. I heard this from one of my mentors. He said most people fail not because a lie was told to them, but because the truth was told to them and they chose not to believe. I'm going to say what I said again. In the next 90 days to 6 months, If you stopped just doing the things you knew you shouldn't be doing and you started doing the things that you knew you should be doing, your income would double or triple based off what it is that we do. So reflect, grow, adapt, change. Number six, this is the last one that we're going to cover today because we don't have an hour and a half like, we did in the Arizona event. But your goal has to be fueled by your why. The moment I got started in entrepreneurship, my mentor said, "What is your why?" And I said, "What the hell are you talking about?" He said, "Your why, your reason why you're doing what you're doing has to be emotionally charged. You have to have a burning desire on why you're going to be successful because challenges are going to come, negativity is going to come, setbacks are going to come. Things are going to happen that are out of your control. Things are going to happen that are going to mess up your timing. Something's going to happen with a relationship that someone that you're really close to. Something's going to happen. Things are going to happen. I started my entrepreneurship journey. I started my very first business when I was 19, 20 years old. I just turned 30 this year. You don't think I've had people stab me in the back, people pass away in my family, relationships, things happen in the last 10 years. Things are going to happen. And for most people, that's enough for them to quit on their dream. What is a dream so big for you? What is a why so strong for you that no matter what happens, you're going to keep going no matter what? And it's not just why are you doing this, it's also who are you doing this for? Because it's easy to give up on yourself, but it is impossible to give up on your family. It is impossible to give up on retiring your parents. It is impossible to give up on retiring your spouse so that she doesn't have to work anymore. It's impossible to give up on I have a baby coming in a couple months personally, right? It's not just why are you doing what you're doing, but it's who are you doing this for? Because it's very, very easy to give up on yourself, and you've given up on yourself. I've given up on myself before, but I'm not going to give up on the people that I care about most. And it's messed up because sometimes the people that you care about most, maybe that person doesn't believe in you and your vision. So why are you doing this? And who are you doing this for? Because you might have a goal of, oh, I want to make six figures. Okay, cool. Well, that's great, but here's the thing. What are you going to do with that money, right? What are you going to do once you get there, right? Because when all these challenges come, we'll see how bad you want it at that point. It's easy to be on a call hyped up like this, but when you go back to reality and go back to your negative environment and go back to your current situation, and all you see around you is negativity and this and that, how strong is your work ethic then? How good is your attitude then at that point? So those are like the big six things that I really took away from, Chris Katanos' training and that I'm going to apply to setting goals for the new year. But on top of that, guys, he talked about SMART goals. I'm going to cover this very quickly. And SMART goals is an acronym. The S stands for specific. And he gave the analogy of a car. He was asking people about their dream car. He said, "Yo, who here has their dream car?" I could do that with everybody on this call. I could say, "Hey, who here has their dream car?" Right? And before I even talk about this analogy, everybody here needs to start dreaming again. Because chances are, if you've gone through enough life, you've gotten the dream beat out of you by your environment. It might be your work environment, it might be your family environment, it might be your school environment, might be your work environment, but chances are you got to start dreaming again. You got to start really remember when you were a kid and your parents or whoever told you you could do anything, you could be anything. A mentor told me, he said, "You are God's highest form of creation. You could have, be, or do whatever it is that you want." But how are you going to hit the target if you can't see the target? You have to be specific. I love the car analogy. The car analogy was, what is your dream car? And no, very few people could say what their dream car was, what the color of the seats were, what the rims looked like, and it doesn't have to be a car. The car was just an analogy. It could be you might hate cars, right? It could be anything. It could be your dream home. It could be your dream, whatever your dream is. But again, how can you hit the target if you can't see the target? Or how can you hit the target with a blindfold on? You're walking around like this because you don't have goals. Specificity creates clarity. I just made that up. I gotta write that down. I'm gonna take notes on that. Specificity creates clarity. Sometimes I'll have original ideas. That was pretty good. All right. The M stands for measurable. Measurable meaning you want to begin with the end in mind and then reverse engineer your goal. Okay? I'll give you an example. People are like, yo, I want to make a full-time income trading. I'm like, okay, great. Well, what's a realistic goal? They don't even know what a realistic goal is. So, for example, like trading, if somebody has, you know, maybe $10,000 in a trading account, then at that point, if they're making 5% every single week, 20% a month on average, they can get to a point where, okay, cool, they're making a full-time income. But the thing is that, most people aren't at that point yet. And so they need to probably build the business so that they can, get to that point where they have a lot more capital, right? Another example would be if I wanted to hit four no more, if I wanted to refer a few people to, get a completely free membership and get the Academy's live session scanners, everything completely for free, I would begin with the end in mind. Okay, cool. I want to refer four people. And then I would reverse engineer that goal and break it down and say, okay, cool. If I talk to out of 10 people, two out of 10 are going to start. So if I talk to 20 people, then four will start. Boom, I'll hit four no more. Or 700 a month, 1,000 a month, 5K a month, 10K a month, whatever your goal is, but it has to be something that you can measure. Business is numbers. By the way, shout out to Alexis. Her and I have a call. I think it's Thursday. We're going to be breaking down the numbers in terms of the business and how it all works, but everything is numbers. You can break it down to a science and say, hey, if I do this, 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 and this, then I'm going to get this result. Measurable. A stands for aggressive. Most people have zero sense of urgency when it comes to their goals. You need to focus on DMOs. DMO stands for daily methods of operation. Daily methods of operation are the things that you need to do daily that are going to add up to having a great week, that are going to add up to having a great month, which are going to add up to having the best 2026, the best year of your life. But if you're not focused on the day, if you're, most people are, like I said, they're very, very good at procrastinating. They're very, very good about thinking about the business all day long, but never actually doing it. But when you're focused on your DMOs, okay, cool. This is what I got to do today to have a great day. This is what I'm going to do now. That's what I do. Every day I wake up and I ask myself, what are the top 3 to 5 things that I can do today to be more successful and to help more people? Every day I ask myself, what are the things that I could do now that are going to help me push towards my goals? And I have a very big sense of urgency, guys. You have to be aggressive when it comes to your goals. The R stands for realistic. Now, for me personally, I'm all for a big goal. Yes, you want to have a big goal, but at the same time, if I have a big goal to, do something by the end of the year, by 2026, at the same time, I want to have a lot more smaller goals that I could hit in the meantime that are going to add up to that bigger goal. And it's going to be something that's realistic and something that's controllable and something that I know for a fact that I could do. Because every time I set a goal, a small one, and I hit it, that's going to build my confidence and my belief that I could do the next one. So, what's something realistic that you could do? Is it realistic for you to hop on one live trading session a day with 6 and 7 figure traders for you to learn and grow and get results? Is it realistic for you to take an hour a day to work on the TikTok stuff so that you can, hit a certain level in the business? What's realistic for you? And then the T is time bounds because some people love having goals and like having a deadline. Let me put it this way. Let me rephrase what I'm about to say. Without a deadline, procrastination tends to happen. If your teacher never said to when to turn in your homework, when would you turn in your homework? Back in college, back in high school? The answer is never. If your boss didn't give you deadlines on, hey, you need to do this, this, and this by this time, you probably wouldn't actually do it because you had an unlimited amount of time. So if people don't like having time attached to their goals, it's typically because they're like, man, I don't want to feel that pressure. They're like, man, that's gonna give me pressure. Well, here's the thing. The people who are the most successful that I know are the ones that have found a way to deal with the most pressure. You don't think of the most successful people that you know. They're dealing with a lot of pressure. Like they just are. So you gotta, pressure creates diamonds, right? So it's either gonna break you or you're gonna build up your mentality to the point where it's gonna actually help you by putting yourself and giving yourself pressure. You want to have a good relationship with pressure, guys. I have a great relationship with if I don't do this by this time, then I'm not going to hit my goal. I have a good relationship with positive peer pressure when it comes to mentors, when it comes to people telling me, "Hey, this is what you got to do. You got to do this, you got to do that. Stop doing that." Most people will take that stuff personally. If you have someone that has the results that you want, that is financially incentivized to help you be successful, and they're telling you what to do and you're taking it personal and they're just trying to help you got to switch your mentality. These are SMART goals: specific, measurable, aggressive, time bound. We do it like this. I'm so happy and grateful now that I am blah, blah, blah by December 31st, 2026. I'm so happy and grateful now. You're putting it in the present tense because it's already done. You just got to put the work in and time just has to catch up. There's cause and effect and then causing an effect. Cause and effect is waiting for something outside of you to change how you feel on the inside. Causing an effect is changing how you think and feel now, which changes your actions, which changes your results. You take the word I am are the two most powerful words in the English language. Anything you say after I am now starts to happen. Anything you say after I am, you start to become. And then you have the date that you want to accomplish it by. There's a method to the madness. There's a reason why we tell people to do the things that they're doing. We're not just say, "Hey, write the goal this way because this is how you should do it." It's because this stuff actually works. So for me personally, between MVM people that are, in Alexis's group, between VIP people that are in my group, here's the thing. There is no reason why that we can't help 1,000+ people learn about trading and investing in residual income by the end of next year. That's just 3 people a day that we've impacted their family and helped them with financial education by the end of the year. I'm so happy and grateful now that we've impacted 1,000 families by December 31st, 2026. When I say 3 people a day, that doesn't sound very hard, right? I mean, there's a couple hundred people in the MVM chat, there's a couple hundred people in the VIP chat, and we can't help 3 people a day. Like genuinely. So 1,000+ people we're going to impact by the end of the year. The question is, how many of those people are going to be impacted by you personally? It's going to happen regardless, but how many of those people are going to be helped by you? And then here's my last question for you to close off the call, guys. Everyone's so focused on the income. I want to make X amount of money. I want to make a full-time income, six-figure income. The question is who do I need to become to attract that level of success? I knew that the person that I was being, when I say the person that I was being, here's what I mean. The thoughts that I was thinking, the feelings that I was feeling, the actions that I was taking, the person that I was being was determining the results that I was getting. And I knew that in order to have more, I needed to become more. So who do you need to become in order to hit whatever income that you're trying to actually hit? One of the best pieces of advice that I ever got from one of my mentors, he said, Yo, Cruiser, he said, listen, you need to act as if. I said, what does that even mean? He said, professional actors in a movie, they get the script, they practice the script, they read the script over and over and over until what? Until they become the script. So I said, okay, I need to be more confident. I need to be more certain. I need to be more aggressive. I need to be more this or that, whatever it is for you. And I just started to act as if, and I did that over and over and over until I became that person that could actually do those things. Do you guys, I have a video of the first time I ever spoke in front of a group of people. It was absolutely terrible. I can guarantee you every single person on this call right now could do more better, could do better than I did when I first got started. But I just kept acting as if and doing it over and over and over and over until I became that person that could actually be good at speaking and also trading and also investing and also everything else that we do. But who do you need to become? That's the question.